It's Junkman from VintageRock.com at NAMM 2014, and right next to me, I've got the lovely Janet Rahman. How you doing?
Hi, Junk Man.
How are you?
I love that name.
Yeah, well, it's one of the only ones I have,
You don't look like junk to me.
Nah, 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 nah. Janet is she's going to be participating in tonight's Randy Rhoads tribute, which is going to be happening over at the observatory. And by the time you guys see this, it'll be past tense. But you were a student of Randy Rhoads.
I was from age 9 till 15, till he got the gig with Ozzy. And as far as to my knowledge, I was his only female student. I think he had a couple others, but they didn't stay long. You know, I was like steady for the 6 years. And I think it was his youngest student as well.
Wow, how about that? Now, how did that all come about? How did you say, you went to the academy, or is...
No, well, you know, his mom ran the school Musonia, which was around the corner from where I grew up. My parents still live in that house, and my brother was taking lessons, and we got a referral to him. I don't know who it was. Somebody told my mom that there's this great guy that teaches electric guitar, and my brother wanted to take electric, and so did I, because I did everything my brothers did.
Sure.
And you know, we started with Randy then, and he was in Quiet Riot. He was very young, and Quiet Riot was just getting going out here in LA. And yeah, I mean, he was amazing. Lessons were like $8 for a half hour.
Now, what kind of a teacher did he start with, like theory first, or did he go directly into the neck and that was it? You know,
No, I mean, I don't
fingering techniques.
I don't really know much theory now. I came from acoustic and from picking and, you know, folk and stuff like that, which actually was good because Randy was really interested in classical and picking and things like that. But no, we started on blues. I mean, if you ask any student of Randy, he will tell you, he or she will tell you that he started everybody on blues. It was like the blues minor pentatonic scale, you know, riffs, chord progressions. Basically, the lessons would go where he would show me a chord progression, and then he would just freaking rip, you know, and I'd be like that the whole like, yeah. I mean, I used to bring friends to the lessons, you know. I'd be like, gotta see my guitar teacher, you know. And so then, you know, as the lessons went on, as years went by, we would switch. So, you know, he would show me the scales and some riffs, tricks, and things that he was doing, and then he would do the progressions, and I would do the solo work. So basically that, learning Mixolydian and Dorian, you know, all those scales and all the riffs.
But he started out with like on some John Lee Hooker, you know, riff.
We started on Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry.
Johnny Be Good.
Really? That was it, first one.
That was my first riff. I mean, wow. But you know, if you listen to Jimmy Page or Clapton or any of those guys, I mean, that main, you know, that's like, that's every guitar player needs to know that.
So it was one lesson a week, right?
One lesson a week, yep.
Was he strict on you with your homework, making sure you got everything was done?
You know, I mean, he was strict in the way that, you know, he wanted you to practice. I mean, obviously, the only way to get better was to practice. He was serious during lessons. There was no, like, joking around. I'm sure he had a sense of humor, but we were, you know, it was pretty focused. We only had 30 minutes. You know, he would sit there with his legs crossed, skinny little guy, smoking like a fiend, right, with a Diet Coke. I never understood the diet part. But, you know, he was quiet, and
yes, he was.
He was quiet, and he was very, you know, to the point when he was teaching. And there was ever any discussion about my gender or my age or you're a girl, you can't play. I never, ever heard that from him. He was nothing but supportive. In fact, I was in a little garage neighborhood band, and I brought one of the guys from the band because we were, you know, we made up a little song, and I wanted him to help me with it. And he did. He helped me with it.
I'll bet.
And somewhere I have a tape of that.
Wow.
A cassette tape. I don't know where.
Wow.
I wish I had it.
Yeah, well, it'd probably be worth a lot to some collector somewhere, and God knows where, you know?
I would never sell it, yeah. And, by the way, the show tonight that I'm playing, I'm using the exact guitar that I used in lessons.
Oh, no kidding.
Which was my black 78 Les Paul Custom. I had started on a 77 white Strat, but it got stolen out of my mom's station wagon at the mall. Oh, then we took the insurance money and went to the old Guitar Center, which doesn't exist anymore. It was a tiny little store across from the one on Sunset now. And we took the insurance money and bought the Les Paul, the 78 Custom, for $800.
Wow.
And I'll be playing that tonight.
It's quite a story. towards the end of his, or towards the end of, or beginning and end of his career. Obviously, it was a kind of a not really a long career for him, unfortunately. When he started getting to be bigger and bigger of a guitar player, how few and far in between were your lessons with him?
Oh well, he did basically stop the lessons when he got the gig with Ozzy. We were all very happy for him, and a guy named Craig. Craig, I'm sorry, I forgot your last name. He took over, and he was great. Um, but we missed Randy, and I did see Randy one more time in between the two. I think he did two tours with Ozzy. Was it two main tours?
Yes, it was.
And in between those tours, he came home. He had a break, and he came back to teach his students. That was the last time I saw him.
Wow. Do you remember that day pretty well, I'd imagine?
I remember that lesson because you know what? He came out to my mom because my mom, was picking me up, and he came out, and my mom was like, so how's she doing? And he said, she's doing really good. Someday she's going to be as good as me when she's my age. And I'm like, yeah, well, you know what? I'm the kind of player I am now, but it was a very nice compliment to hear from him. And then in was it 82 he died. I was in high school, and I got a note to my room sent to my teacher to come to the office, and I had to call my mom, and she told me what happened, and I just lost it. I mean, no one had died yet. My grandparents hadn't died yet. I didn't know that feeling, of grief. And he was, I mean, guitar was everything to me when I was little. Everything, and it still is. I still haven't grown up. But, you know, it was everything to me, and he taught me everything I needed to know about playing rock guitar and being aggressive and getting into it, and he just instilled that confidence into me. And when he left us, I just felt like, I mean, I know he was with Ozzy, but I just felt like, what am I going to do now? And there were subsequent teachers after Craig, Steve Sonnersberg, who was also a student of Randy's. He started teaching. So I stayed at Musonia for several more years until I got the gig with Precious Metal.
Yeah, I was going to say you went on to success with the band Precious Metal, which a lot of us remember
In the
from
80s.
back in the day. Well, it was a big band. They had girls in the band that stood out, man. Not what do you think?
Now it's more common.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I mean, back in the day, there really wasn't a whole lot of them. So, what do you think? What do you think Randy would have thought about Precious Metal?
He would have been so happy. I mean, like I said, he doesn't care about if you're a girl or a guy or a goat. You
But
know,
just seeing his student be successful.
seeing a
Where I'm
student
going at.
playing well and doing what they love to do and doing it well was all he cared about. Um, and and the passion for it. Not just being a rock star. I mean, whatever that means. I never got into this business to be a rock star. You know, or even to make a lot of money. It was to, and I'm still not a rock star, and I don't have a lot of money, but it was because I love music and I love playing guitar. And he really did show me that side, that passion, how important the passion is, and he would have been really proud. And it sucks because it was just 2 years later that I got in that band and we got signed and we got a big record deal. And I went, as soon as our record came out, I went back to Musonia and gave a copy to Mrs. Rhodes, and signed it. And if you ever go to Musonia, it's still there.
That's terrific.
Still there amongst all of the other, you know, items that she's received for Randy.
That's great. And tonight you're going to be paying tribute to him. So, in your own special way, too. You mentioned something to me in the hallway about that.
Yes, well, after Precious Metal, I went on to play with Lindsey Buckingham and Meredith Brooks and Air Supply, all kinds of different, styles of music, which I think Randy would have really approved of as well. And of course, I'm doing mostly my own solo stuff now, which is very acoustic heavy, but I also play electric. And in between my touring and things like that, gigs, I teach. Why not? I love teaching, and the students I have are just as dedicated as I am. I have female and male students, and for tonight, I chose my 12-year-old student Garrett Podgorski. He's been studying with me for 3 years now, and he's just obsessed. Like he reminds me of me. He's like in his room 5 hours a day,
Right.
obsessing over one lick, trying to get it right. And he's a Randy and Van Halen fanatic, and I thought it would be really cool to share the spotlight with him. You know, so we're trading solos on our song that we're playing tonight for Randy, and he's so excited. He's never played with this caliber of musicians, you know, like Phil and
Sure, his eyes are going to be wide open
well,
tonight.
we did it rehearsal, and he was like, you know, I was like, dude, you got just chill, man, just relax, get into it, you know. But he's, yeah, he'll have a good time tonight.
It's quite a list of guitar players that he's going to be playing amongst, including his teacher. You know.
Well, I'm honored to be a part. I'm still close to the Rhodes family, and I feel like, you know, they need people they can trust, and you know, musicians, the ones especially that were close to Randy, they can trust us, and they approved of this whole benefit and this tribute, and I'm so honored. I couldn't be happier. This is like the pinnacle of NAMM for me. I come every year and I do play at booths and different things, but this is so special, and I just know he's going to be there watching all of us, making sure we're getting every riff right.
Absolutely, smoking a cigarette.
Drinking some Diet Coke.
Well, Janet Robin, I appreciate you speaking with us at VintageRock.com. What are you here to see at NAMM the most? I mean, what's your big excitement?
Oh, you know, I go visit my endorsers. I'm endorsed by Fender and Taylor, so I gotta go say hi to those guys. Clayton Picks, DR Strings, Martin Strings. Um, those guys, and then, you know, since I'm not really working a booth, you know, playing at a booth this year, I just have the show tonight. I actually get to walk around and look at new things,
Exactly.
which is great. You know, yeah.
And get interviewed every now and then, right?
I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to do it.
Janet Robin, again, thank you for speaking with us here at VintageRock.com. It's Junk Band and Janet Robin for VintageRock.com at NAMM 2014.
There it is, right there.
Big Randy Rhoads tribute tonight at the Observatory in Santa Ana.